Hey, welcome in to our second rankings review. We're going to be talking about the 2022 class. If you haven't already seen it, go to TexasHoops.rivals.com or go to our Twitter at TexasHoopsGASO and find the 2022 rankings. This is an impressive class that we're going to be hitting on today. Lots of content coming to you. And we're going to just jump in right now to the top 10. I'm going to run through them real quick, and then we'll kind of circle back and talk more about them. At number 1, we have Keontae George. Number 2, Cason Wallace. Number 3, Arterio Morris. Number 4, Lee Dort. Number 5, Bryce Griggs. Number 6, Rylan Griffin. 7, Zuby Ejiofor. 8, Colin Smith. 9, Terrence Arsenault. And number 10, Anthony Black. So we're going to circle back. Let's talk about Keontae. Yeah. He's pretty much held this spot down. He is so consistent. He is so smooth. Yeah. He lets the game come to him, and he just gets it done.
Yeah, and I think a couple times this year that we've seen him, we've also seen his defense kind of hit that level of where he's willing to do it. He's willing to get in a stance, go grab a loose ball. One thing that we also have seen from him is his willingness to give the ball up to a teammate in the open court when he can easily get the lay-in or the dunk. He is a really good passer, and he's always looking up ahead of him.
Yeah, and I mean, like you mentioned transition. That's where I was just like, man, this guy's really incredible. He's smooth, he's strong, and he's just making constant decisions. He's a team guy, and that's hard to do when you're the best player in the state.
And he's a team guy, but let's not forget, he can take it over whenever he
wants.
Whenever
he feels like it, yeah.
And there's a balance there. You know, he goes to high school, and there's a balance there of scoring.
Sure.
That where he might not always lead them in scoring, but it's his presence on the court that is by far that has not changed since day one.
Number 2, a mover, Cason Wallace of Richardson. He is, you said it earlier, his body of work. Yeah. Tell us what you mean by that.
Well, he really pushed Keontae for that number 1 spot.
He did.
We talked about it. We circled around a little bit on it, but Keontae really hadn't done anything that you would say he's not deserving of number 1. Wallace, on the other hand, moved up those 7 spots. I believe he was like 8 or 9 in one of our rankings here. And he's just his body of work all the way around, from a ball handler, a distributor of the ball, a scorer. Defensively, he's a guy that can turn and go in defensive transition, recover, and he just has so much spring, so much bounce in his game that he's able to contest shots at the rim for a guard his size.
I've never seen a guard consistently challenge dunkers in transition. And he does it, and I don't think I've seen him lose it. No. I don't want to jinx him, but holy cow.
Probably one of the best defenders in this class.
And I love a little subtlety of his game is how he posts up smaller guards, and he'll pass out of the post, and he'll score on you. Yep. He's very, very dynamic, and he's impressive. Yeah. Number 3, Arterio Morris. Scoring bunches, crazy talented, crazy bounce.
It's an at ease type of game for him. It's very finesse. There's these bursts throughout the game when you watch him, and I've watched him hit 17 straight points before in a game.
I know.
Where there was an array of jumpers and dunks and putbacks. His game comes so easy that you kind of watch him a little bit, and you're like, when is it coming? And then boom, it just happens. And he'll play both sides of the ball.
Sure.
And I think that as we go along here over the next year and a half of basketball, we're just going to continue to see this growth of this 6'4", 6'5" body and athleticism of this guy continue to get better.
Yeah, he's an electric scorer.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 4, Lee Dort. I don't know if you've seen it. I think he had the block of the year.
Yeah.
I still can't get it out of my head where he literally spiked the ball down.
Yeah. The thing about Lee Dort is just the massive size. He steps on the court,
physicality,
the broadness of him.
Yeah.
And, big men in the college game are very unique because it's more of an athletic type interior game, but he gives you that. He gives you the size, the quickness, the bulk, the ability to run up and down the court, post up, finish in transition. Of course, defensively, he's going to be an intimidator. Got to kind of stick with Lee right here. They're just in an unfortunate situation right now at Green Hill that they're not playing a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
And so, but you can't sit here and go, well, what is he going to do next? He's a very massive individual inside that paint.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing him when they do return. Coming in at number 5, Bryce Griggs, another electric scorer.
Yeah, I mean, out of Houston, I mean, he's a top player out of Houston, and there's a reason for that because he can't be stopped. I mean, he'll go for 40 anytime that he wants, it seems
Casual.
like.
Yeah.
I think some teams are starting to kind of really get down and try to stop him, but he just has other ways of getting scoring, going to the basket, floaters, runners, pull-ups. You want to guard him out 22 feet, he'll shoot 25. Not a high percentage shot, but when it's going in, it's very impressive because he's got that kind of just the confidence to sit there and go, you know what, I'm just going to pull up from 24 right now because I feel like it.
Yeah. Number 6, Rylan Griffin, Cason Wallace's teammate. A lot of people compare these guys, and it's just like they just fit together. They just work. And, I mean, talk about electric score. When that dude he can go bonkers.
His ability to get by that first line of defense and get inside the arc for a mid-range jumper, and I watched him just a few nights ago, his ability to get off the ground and create separation. I mean, he's like it looks like, it looks like he has trained himself into this like little fadeaway kick back jumper, and it's going in.
Yeah.
And every time the ball leaves his hands, you just feel it's going in, and he's going to shoot the three. He can handle it, give you an extra ball handler on the court. You give him a lane, he's going to go finish, and it's just a very bouncy athlete himself.
Yes. Number 7, Zuby Ejiofor out of Garland. He is a do-it-all big man. He can stretch the floor. He can go right, go left. He's physical. I mean, he is everything you want.
You talk about
big.
Yeah, and you talk about images that you remember when you watch a kid, a player, a prospect on the court play. It always sticks out in my mind, which he does constantly. He puts the ball on the floor when he's away from the basket, and it only takes about it seems like 2 or 3 dribbles, and he's up in the air and he's finishing. Sam Lowe said it best for us. He said he's maybe even a better version of Damian James, who went to the University of Texas.
All Big 12 player.
Yeah. He spent some time in the NBA.
Yeah.
But that's who he compared him to. Yeah. And that's very true because he's going to be an inside guy rebounding and defending, but he gives you enough on the outside that he just impresses with the body and the physical play that he gives you.
Very polished for a junior big who can do all those things. So I'm looking
That's
forward
the
to
thing.
seeing him too. Like
We're talking about juniors right now, and it's just
this class is crazy.
I think anybody as we go through this list, even in the top 25, there can't be too many colleges that wouldn't want these guys today on their rosters.
100%. Coming in number 8, Colin Smith, 6'8", 6'9", out of St. Mark's. He can score the ball. We saw him shoot it a little bit this year, and it was really impressive. But he was at his best, man, when he was just in transition, running the floor, flying around.
Yeah, you give him some space and his length and his stride down the court.
Oh my gosh,
that's what gets him that separation.
Sure.
And once he's in front of you, once he's in front of that defense, he's very hard to stop because he's got speed to his game, and I think that he has become more comfortable with his position and what he's going to do on the court and his abilities. He doesn't force a whole lot. He just plays within the offense. He plays, like you said, he's running the court looking for those advantages to get in front of the defense and go score.
Yeah. Coming in number 9, Terrence Arsenault, Beaumont United. We watched him recently. He's got the body. He is smooth. He can shoot it. Yeah. He's just, man, he's a matchup nightmare at this level.
Sometimes you watch him, and I think you and I had this conversation, is you watch him and you go, where's Terrence? Oh, there he is. He just flew down the lane and dunked on 3 people. Because he has that kind of length and athleticism. And he wants to step out. He's kind of just dynamic in the sense that where he can play the 4. He can go out from the wing and get to the basket. Still needs to get a little bit stronger. That's going to happen over time. But he's a guy that has gone from here all the way up to where he's in the top 10 now. A lot of people are talking about him in his overall game.
Sky's the limit for a guy like that. Another guy who's similar in a sense with the athleticism, Anthony Black coming in at number 10, Coppell High School. He made a meteoric leap. Yeah. I mean, unbelievable this summer. We got to see him many times, and he did something impressive every time I saw him.
And he's one of, I think there's a handful of guys that are playing football and basketball. But by far, we've noted plenty of times that that he is so talented that he's going to be able to pick his sport, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not to scare off the football guys, but I think that when he's going to have to make a decision between basketball and football. Right now he's at Capel. When there's no football,
Tuesday nights he's
playing.
Yeah,
he's playing.
He's playing Tuesday
He's playing
nights.
on Saturday night,
Yeah.
on Saturday afternoons with the basketball team, and you look at the scorecard. He's averaging through maybe 3 games right around that, peaking at maybe about 20 points or so, and just athletically, he's one of those guys that just a highlight reel too.
Yeah, and he gets it. Like, he gets the game. He's another guy that plays within the flow. Doesn't try and do too much, and he plays the right way. And man, he's number 10. That just tells you
exactly.
That
That's what I was going to say.
is,
There's so much description of these guys that are so similar, and they all have that ability. And even when we get outside the top 10, it doesn't end there. It is a crowded field, but you can't put 25 guys in a top 10.
No, you can't, and that's unfortunate. But that's going to round up our top 10. We're going to move on to players outside the top 10 here in a second.